YouTube, what is good? Yo, so the awesome people at Reebok hit me up. They said, yo, we've noticed a lack of diversity in the sneakers in your video. We want to help you branch out, try something new. And they also wanted to sponsor today's video. So today's video is sponsored by Reebok. They gave me 2 general requirements. They said, make some dope photos of these shoes and teach your audience about sneaker photography. Now, y'all know I make photos of sneakers at least once a week for probably the last 2 years. I've been doing it a lot. I have a lot of experience with it, and a lot of you have asked for this video. So today, thanks to Reebok, it is finally happening. We're gonna go out and make some photos of these Reebok Treks right here. We're gonna make some photos of these, and I'm gonna explain my process, tips, basically everything I know about sneaker photography, so you can start making your own fire sneaker images. Now, Reebok clearly knows what's up. This is the first tip I'm gonna give y'all. If you have the option, shoot a smaller size. Reebok sent me a size 9 to use in the photos, and they sent me a size 12 for me to rock. So the reason why you wanna shoot a smaller size if you have the option, it just looks a little bit better. It looks a little more proportional. It's not a problem if you're photographing your own shoes and you happen to wear a size 12 like me. It's not the end of the world, but it's always nice if the option is there, try to shoot a smaller size. So let's put these on, see how they look on feet. Yo, these are fire right here. Loving the colors. So anytime I'm getting ready to make photos of sneakers, I try to look for the key details to look out for while we're out shooting. The main one on this Reebok is clearly this area right here. We got this crazy neon mark. We have this blue to match. This is the highlight of the shoe, the profile view. So we're gonna capture a lot of that. Also up top, this detail on the tongue, loving that right there. And also the toe box on these is pretty cool with this blue. So those are a few details to keep in mind today while we're out shooting. Let's stop wasting time. Let's go make some photos. So this photo mission starts in downtown. Here's the idea that I have. I want to get these shoes interacting with the city in a unique, interesting way. We are going to make a photo just of the shoes with the city. That is obvious, but I want to do something a little more unique and specific to Atlanta. So you might not know, if you live here, you know this. Atlanta has so many roads named Peachtree, like Peachtree Street, Peachtree Center, so many roads with Peachtree in the name. So what we're going to do is take these shoes, tie the laces together, throw them over a road sign for Peachtree Street, and try to make a cool, interesting photo, maybe a little bit of a look up, something unique and very Atlanta. We're gonna go like 2 blocks up the street to a location that I think will work to make this one happen. So at this point, I want to get some photos that establish we are in the middle of Atlanta. Get some photos with the city in the background, some buildings in the background. Now, I had one location in mind over there with a fire view of the city, and unfortunately, we had a slight issue with security, which I'm not going to include in the video. So I came here as a secondary location, and I was planning on shooting up there, and of course, just my luck, there's a group of like 25 teenagers listening to indie music, making some type of hipster photo shoot. It's all good. Y'all know what I'm all about, making the best of the situation that we have in front of us. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I would shoot right here, but unfortunately, the view of the city is slightly blocked by this building. So I'm gonna head up there. This is the only time in the video I'm gonna do a commentary because obviously we got a few things to work around up there. Yo, speaking of this location, we gotta come back here in another vlog. I'm getting a lot of ideas right now, so only time in the video, GoPro mode, let's get it. Coming in hot with that voiceover, so I'm making my way up these steps. This is a place I've known about for years, and I've never seen a giant group of people up here before. Don't know what's up with that. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm tucking the laces in. After that last shot where we had it hanging, I'm flipping the laces around so they go inward towards the shoe so you can tuck them. It's just a nice little detail to make the shoe appear much more clean. We'll talk about that a little more at the end of the video. So right here I'm putting on my 70 to 200 millimeter, which is my trusty go-to product shot lens. So my goal right here is to get more of a basic product photo of the shoe. I want to do something that captures the profile of the shoe, but in a little more interesting way than them just sitting one-on-one. So I stack them on top of each other. I have one shoe facing me, the other shoe propped up on top of it, and I'm looking to get 2 photos here, one farther out shot and one tighter shot to show more of the details. So here's the one far away. I think it looks great. Shot that at 85mm f4 to get some nice bokeh and some separation. This is the close-up shot, but I want to note one thing here. Now, in different lighting, it's very easy for certain colors to kind of warp and change just because of the light temperature around you, and that's what happened right here. The blue on this shoe, it looked completely fine in the original photo right here, but I had to go into Lightroom, I had to go to the color module on the yellows and slide them a little bit more towards the green to get us back to that neon color that the shoe is originally. So keep that in mind when you're doing sneaker photography. You want to keep the colors as true to what they really are as possible, and sometimes depending on the light that can be very difficult, so you may have to make some adjustments in post-processing to get yourself back to the point that you need to be. So one last thing I was hoping to do was get a photo of the shoe with the city in the background, and I figured in hand was the way to do this. Now this shot didn't exactly turn out the way I would have hoped, but I'm sort of glad it didn't work out because I'll be able to explain why later in the video, and it's an important lesson to know about sneaker photography. Sometimes what you want to happen can happen, but the particular day you're shooting just isn't the right day. So this is the photo, this is unedited, it didn't work out. So we're getting some pretty good stuff so far. I'm liking the photos. So because these shoes are pretty colorful, I want to shoot them in a colorful location. So we're gonna head to arguably the most colorful place in all of Atlanta. That's right, Krog Tunnel. So we managed to have just enough light left in the day to get our shot inside Krog Tunnel. Essentially, Krog Tunnel, anyone can paint there. It's super colorful. It's constantly changing. People are painting there every single day. So for this photo, I ended up using a 35mm lens instead of my normal 7-200 that I use for product shots. I wanted to get more of the tunnel, more of the environment, show more of what's going on. 35 is obviously a little bit wider, and my 35 is a 1.4, so I was able to get my aperture a little bit lower, have a little bit more bokeh, and also let more light into my camera because we were losing light very fast on this one. No better way to celebrate a successful photo shoot than a cup of coffee from the best coffee shop in Atlanta. That's good stuff. Chrome Yellow Coffee Shop, shout out as always, and a bonus banana nut muffin, which I'm about to feast on. Yo, tonight was fun. So it is now the next day. Last night when I got home, I made a few more photos of these Reeboks right here to use as examples as we wrap up this video. To close this thing out, I just want to give y'all my key takeaway points when it comes to making photos of sneakers, whether it's your own photos or if you're working with clients like I do. So the first thing is details. Just pay attention to the details. There are small things you can do when you're out shooting that make a big difference. If you think about it, a picture of a shoe is very small. There's not a lot going on, so any flaw or anything that's wrong can really stand out. So notice how yesterday I did tuck the laces in. Normally when you tie your shoes, the laces come out this way. It's better to flip them into the shoe and then tuck them while you're making photos of them. It just cleans it up and makes it look better. Another thing is making sure the tongue is up. Notice how much better that looks than this. It's a small detail that can make a big difference in your photo. One other thing is paying attention for dust or lint or marks on the shoe. It's really easy when you're out shooting to, rub it against your clothes and maybe something ends up on there that's not supposed to be. Just be on the lookout for that. Remove it in Photoshop, or if you can remove it when you're out shooting, that will make your life even easier because you won't have to do as much in post. And like I mentioned while we were out shooting, when you're working in post, pay attention to the colors. Try to keep the colors of the product of the shoe as close to the original as possible. It doesn't matter as much if it's your own personal photography, I guess, but if you're working with a client, you don't want them sharing an image of a product and it not looking like what the customer gets. So just keep that in mind. Now, another key takeaway I want y'all to have is that every shoe is different and every shoe can be presented in a different way. Presentation matters, and it can help or it can hurt the particular product you're photographing. So let's take this Reebok for example. When I got home last night, I made a few indoor product photos. I wanted to make a 4-photo set of these shoes. The first photo I made was set up like this. This is our main product shot to show all the key details of the shoe. This is what I recommend starting with first. So one key detail is this profile view of the shoe. Other detail is this tongue and this toe box right here. So I have one shoe facing up, one shoe facing this way. That's my logic. So that's the first photo, and then I make 3 other photos of the details on the shoe to complement that first shot. This is a very easy formula to work with, and you don't necessarily need 4 photos. You can start with that one basic shot and then one other detail based off of that. It just varies from sneaker to sneaker. Now, another key thing you got to remember is the backdrop you choose to photograph your product or your sneaker on can enhance or take away from the product itself. I photograph these on white to help bring out the colors and really make them pop and showcase them the way I see them. Now notice how the shoes look when I photograph them on a brown wood backdrop. The colors don't really pop as much, they don't tell the same story, and that is why that photo we made when we were out in the city with the shoe in my hand didn't work out. That particular backdrop of the city on that day, it took away from the overall feeling of this shoe. I actually thought the backdrop made this not look as good as it could, whereas maybe if it was a sunny day or a good sunset or a really colorful sky or all the trees were bloomed, it could enhance and help this shoe. See, it all depends on the product, and it's up to you as the photographer to make that distinction. Now, another key thing with presentation is understanding how you present a sneaker or a product can determine how people view it. So half of the photos we made yesterday, the ones we made out in the city, those are more lifestyle photos. They show this as more of something you might wear in the city. It has more of an edgy feel to it, whereas the photos we made in-house on the white backdrop, they're much more clean and they tell a different story. I'm not saying either is the right or wrong way to do it. It's just how you want to present the particular brand to the person viewing it. Yesterday, we were just using different locations around the city to showcase the shoe in a different way, but that's not the only way you can do it. Having the shoe on someone's foot, utilizing the outfit they're wearing can also tell the story of the particular product, and it's something you can keep in mind. Like I said, there are so many different types of shoes, there's so many different designs out there. It can vary from each one to each one, and it takes time to kind of learn and understand, okay, this is what's going to work best to tell the story for this particular thing. That took me years to really learn and understand as I've done this over time. Now I can get a product in my hand and I say, all right, this is what's going to work best for this particular thing. This is what's not going to work best. This is how we're going to tell the story of this particular product. I'm trying to think. I think that is everything I wanted to talk about today when it comes to sneaker photography. The most important thing is have fun with it. There are so many different shoes out there. There's so many different designs. There's so many different ways you can photograph them. Just have fun with it. One of my favorite things about photographing sneakers is the fact that you can take literally like a splash of paint on the ground that's this big, put the shoe on it, and you have this amazing, interesting photo that you're making. You can make so much out of so little when it comes to sneaker and product photography. So get out there, have some fun with it. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button for more, and thank you once again to Reebok for sponsoring today's video. Y'all are the truth. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.